It's sunny in San Francisco. So come on over to the sunny side.
And get your hat. Leave your ring on the doorstep. Just direct your feet to the sunny side of the street. Keep your gait a bit pat, and your troubles with no slow step. Life can be so sweet on the sunny side of the street.
Leading off the show with Sterling Dell Zell in his rocker. Conversations with the President. This was created when Obama was president. And Middle Ages, History of Comedy, Leon Martell, Masterwork. And Retrospections, Hollywood Music Manager.
I used to walk in the shade with those blues on parade, but I'm not afraid. This rover crossed over. Grab your coat and get your hat. Leave your worry on the doorstep. Just direct your feet to the sunny side of the street. It can be so sweet on the sunny side of the street.
Yeah. You know, this is never going to get old. This is show 21. And it's so exciting to watch the clock tick tock down. And it's on the monitor right there where I'm watching. I'm actually not looking in the camera. This is looking in the camera. I'm looking at up there, but you can't tell. That's why I wear the sunglasses. Well, one of the reasons I wear the sunglasses. The other reason is if I have owl eyes that aren't pretty. And sunglasses just make my face prettier. And let's get to the queen of the world because I am babbling. Come on, queen. What do you got today? I got a joke. Yeah, I know. That's your job. Your job is to present jokes on this show. Yeah. My job is also to be smarter than you. Well, all right. Well, I'll agree with that. So what's the joke? How did the cowboy get rich? I don't know. How did the cowboy get rich? He got a few bucks from his horse every day. You mean like the horse bucked? And that's the same as what we use as the word for $1. Will you stop trying to ruin the jokes? What is comedy? That's what we're exploring here. No, we're exploring the kind of comedy we like, which is almost impossible to find. Odd comedy, surreal comedy, sophomoric comedy, evolutionary comedy. That's what it is. Sunnyside. It's evolutionary comedy. Get on board. Here we go. Let's get to our first Duck's Breath Mystery Theater comedy video. This is in the Duck's Breath Mystery Theater YouTube, Sunnyside YouTube. You go there, and it's one of the videos there. But you don't have to go there because we're going to watch it right now as soon as I remember how to switch this. Yeah.
Dear Mr. President, I spend a lot of time in laundromats. I do not go there to wash my clothes. That would be foolish. I have all my laundry done at board-certified dry cleaners. But as a finger on the pulse beat of America, a laundromat can't be beat. Whatever readership my own writings enjoy have come from pamphlets that I have left at laundromats. I myself have spent many a happy hour in front of a laundromat bulletin board. The plaintive cry of roommate wanted, the hopeful announcement that a car is for sale in the Mission District, and my favorite, one in which the "ga" had been torn from the top, announcing rage to rent. I thought about calling, renting some rage, and then I realized I had rage of my own, and I'd just been giving it away, bestowing my rage on strangers for nothing. From now on, I have vowed if you want my anger, you must pay for it. As must we all, like paying for a spleen or a kidney or a puppy or a car or for past sins.
Yeah, that's good stuff. That's Jim. Jim is really, really good. And that character was created right early in Duck's Breath. We did a show called The Blob Grows Up, and it was narrated by Dell Zell. And we've done a bunch of video with him. And right now, every Wednesday, there's him taking calls from various characters played by great actors that we all know. And so those are Wednesday. That's the Wednesday feature. And also that's playlist. It's called Sterling. And man, I still think, I still, my hope is still that we're going to make a film with him. That was for a long time. That's what I worked on. We actually have a trailer for a film about Sterling, but it's it has a lot to do. Making a film has a lot to do with having a marketing budget. That's what I found out with Grand Finale. Got it finished, and then I realized you need the average independent release in Hollywood has a $35 million marketing budget. But no, the ultra low cost people can survive just like we're surviving here, and bringing on creating new wonderful stuff like the history of comedy. Leon Martell writes and narrates this, and then we here at the Duck Spots headquarters turn it into great stuff like this coming up.
The history of comedy. Middle Ages.
Not so good a time for comedy. Pagans. And they had a very loose sense of humor. A regular sketch comedy bit made fun of those crazy Christians. The baptism, where a guy agrees to convert, and to baptize him, they push his head underwater and pray. Again, and again, and again, until he drowns. But it's okay, because he'll go to heaven. Funny to the pagans, but not to the Christians. The socio-political current shifts, and the Emperor Theodosius decides we're all Christians now, and comedy was on the outs. The Roman Empire gets sacked by barbarians. This leads to the Dark Ages, which birthed the age of the stand-up comedians known as jesters. These guys were either attached to a court or went from castle to castle doing their routines. Of course, touring at that time, you may find that your next gig was canceled due to a plague, or you discovered that the Lord of the Manor only likes fart jokes. The great warrior, great at smashing heads with a mace, but not sophisticated. In fact, I don't think they even had a word for that in his language. However, we do have the Heiji manuscript, where a traveling jester's routine was copied down by the one guy at court who could write. Undoubtedly, he copied it so he could impress some maiden. It's about a rabbit hunt, where the rabbit ends up killing all the hunters. This was ripped off by Monty Python in their movie The Holy Grail. See, history and comedy repeat themselves, particularly if you think it'll get you a laugh, or a maiden, or a lord. Comedians don't discriminate.
Yeah. Thank you, Leon, for creating that. Yeah, this is our, we have 5 features, a feature that's at the end of every live show, premiering original stuff that we've been working on for the last couple of years. And then we have these developmental series, and this is one of them. And this is going to be great. I just worked on the restoration this weekend, which is a couple episodes a week. away. So it's and also using Runway Gen 2 to create images and and it's real weird because this is I think this is totally in the one I'm working on now. It has the Roundheads fighting the Cavaliers, Middle Ages Civil War. I mean the English Civil War, and and so I put into AI. I said, "Hey, Roundheads fight the Cavaliers," and it gave me this video of these guys fighting, and okay, and I put it in. I sent it to Leon to check off before we, it's wrapped and ready to go for the show. And he said, "That's not the helmets they wore." And I went, "What?" And so I went in and I just used images this time instead of the thing. But isn't that weird? I said Roundheads, Cavaliers, Middle Ages, Middle English Civil War, and it came up with the wrong hats. So, a little warning about our future with AI, because it just decided those were the right kind of helmets. But it was a great battle, but the hats were wrong. Oh, I don't know. We're gonna be worried. Okay, we got an SF comedy piece coming up, and this is I really love this piece. This is SF comedy grew out of a media class at the University of San Francisco, and it turned into a collective that made every Tuesday night had a video on the web, sfcomedy.org, and was mentioned in the 1999 Wired as the place to see comedy on the web. And in fact, Laura Martini, who I met at that point, is now writing AI Chicken. That's another feature, another developmental feature we're doing. That happens on Fridays. But right now, let's see, Two Guys in a Car that I think is pretty dang good.
You know what it is that bothers me about you?
What?
Your nose. It reminds me of this person who I used to actively dislike. His name I can't really recall. Never forget him.
How can you never forget somebody whose name you can't even remember?
I don't know. It just comes naturally to me, I guess.
I always thought my nose looked like a sweet potato. Do you see that in it?
Like the long orange ones.
Yeah. Except the sweet potato's a lot longer, a lot more orange.
Yeah, your nose is hardly orange at all.
I once took acid and looked in the mirror. All my body parts looked like somebody else.
You know, my feet remind me of Zsa Zsa Gabor. When I see my toenails all lined up, they look like her, like wearing pearls. Have you ever seen that one where she's the Queen of Mars?
That one? That what? A movie?
Yeah, it's like a 50s, 60s kind of thing. She's the Queen of Mars, and her friend's the Queen of Mars, and she hooks up with a hunky spaceman.
Hunky Spaceman. Didn't that guy used to play for the Toronto Blue Jays?
You're thinking of that guy who got brain damage, water skiing.
Did he have a twin brother?
That's the guy I thought was an albino.
Did he wear glasses?
Yeah, but he normally wore contacts.
I can't wear contacts. Can't take the glare. I mean, what's the point of wearing contacts if you're just going to have to wear glasses, you know?
Where do you get off being so critical of everyone?
I'm not. I'm talking about myself. And you're the one that's being critical about my nose.
I said your nose looked like a sweet potato. You agreed with me.
Is that Harold Pinter or what? And don't say or what. Oh man, I just think that's really great stuff. And it's a car shot, and we tried all sorts of things with SF comedy, but we were way before our time because it was real hard, and complex to get the pieces up, and not too many people were. It was before YouTube. Well, I guess I don't know. Maybe it wasn't before YouTube, or at least before YouTube gave us the opportunity that YouTube is giving us right now to produce a broadcast show and give you another episode of Retrospections with the Hollywood Music Managers. Let's go see that right now.
You managed a band called La Fonda.
No, we sure did. That was a band we loved. They were a Henry Fonda tribute band. They only sang songs about Henry Fonda in Spanish. They were huge in Mexico City. But we didn't do so well in Philadelphia, Detroit, Dallas, Akron.
Or Ann Arbor. We booked them into the Folk Festival at the Ark in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And we invested in publicity. Man, our hopes were high, but it was not well received.
Yeah, it just didn't translate, oddly enough.
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah, it just didn't. I mean, who doesn't love Henry Fonda?
Well, the young and the ignorant, apparently.
How many mega bands have you two guys managed?
Megadeth before they took off. Mega Hat, Mega Bonnet, Mega Car, Mega Garage Band. We did okay with all of them.
Yeah, we managed Jumbotron for a while.
But they weren't a mega band.
Well, Tron Band, same thing.
Okay, I love today. I love the humor today, and variety of humor, and doing the show. And I hope you come and see more, because this is fun for me, and I hope it's fun for you, and I hope many people realize in the not too distant future that this is fun. Wait a minute. I just turned something off. Oh, no. I didn't turn this off, though. Goodbye.